Isaac Rosenberg lived a short life, 1890 to 1918, but I like to start this walk of the radical Jewish East End with Isaac Rosenberg's plaque, because those dates are very much the dates that we're going to be walking through. We're going to be looking at the history of Jewish immigration from Eastern Europe into the East End of London in the late 19th century and the early 20th century. And we'll be finding out about how the Jewish immigrants that came changed the East End, and also how the East End changed them. Anyway, I'm going to take us off the main road. We're going to be in some alleyways and some streets. We'll see lots of things, see the remnants of lots of things, tell you a lot of stories, and hopefully you'll ask me lots of questions along the way. Many of the social struggles that took place in London that I talk about in the book took place in inner London. And as I was writing it, I was thinking it'd be great to have a plaque put up here or a plaque put up there to commemorate particular people, particular struggles. But it's harder and harder to think about where you would mount such plaques, because London is undergoing a very rapid change at the moment. And a lot of those inner city areas are now being recolonised by massive wealth. Buildings where momentous decisions happened, where important protests happened, are being swept away. New office blocks, new financial offices are sort of going up in their place, luxury flats. And we can't put the bricks back, and we can't sort of rebuild those places where those meetings happened, where those events took place. But what we can do is restore the people to our collective memory. And that's, in a way, one of the main purposes of the book, is to tell ordinary people's stories. It's the story of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and all of them inspired by the idea that of change, but also the idea that we don't change things by ourselves, we change things collectively. In 1889, about 7,000 to 8,000 immigrant Jewish tailors from Eastern Europe went on strike. What they were striking for was the 12-hour day. They wanted to work for only 12 hours and have tea breaks as well, yeah? And not work for 14 hours or 18 hours. They also didn't want work given to them as they were leaving the factory on the way home to say, can you finish this overnight? That also used to happen to them. Now, their union, when they were on strike, their union paid them some money from the strike fund to sustain the families while they were on strike. But 4 weeks into the strike, the money in the strike fund has gone really low. There's almost nothing in it. They can't keep the strike going. And the employers are standing firm. They don't want to give in for this 12-hour day. And so, at that point, it looks like the tailors are going to have to go back to work having won nothing. But there's one last thing they try to do to replenish the strike fund. Because in 1889 there was another very big strike in the East End. It was the dockers. You've got the River Thames here and the docks, and the dockers made a huge amount of the workforce of the East End. It was very casualised, the work, but there was a lot of thousands and thousands of people involved in dock work and in dock related work. And the dockers were also, a lot of them were immigrants. They were Irish immigrants, Irish Catholics. The Irish Catholics and the East European Jews weren't always the best of friends. Tailors went to the dock strike committee and put their case to them, and they came back with a promise of a donation, which came through a couple of days later. And it was the biggest single donation they got from anyone. It was because I've got here the accounts of the strike, and there's one donation which is in 3 figures, £100, and that's from the Dock Strike Committee. And with that money from the Irish Catholic dockers, the union, the tailors, knew they could keep the strike going. And then the employers were really worried, because they could see the whole season clothing trade going. Within 2 weeks they settled. They gave in to all those demands that the strikers had made. And they would not have won that strike without the solidarity of the Irish dockers. The book is a celebration of collective struggles that have changed London and changed people's lives right in their own lifetimes. You know, so they wanted a brighter future for their children, but they also wanted to change things in the here and now. Some of those struggles ended in defeats, but a lot of them were victories. And a lot of the victories we see all around us today. The things that were created out of those struggles. We've got a health service today, a national health service. We've got free universal education. We've got adults, all adults, whatever their background, with the right to vote. These were not handed down to people, these were struggled for from the grassroots up by the kind of people that I've talked about in the book. Those kind of struggles that took place, it's very easy for that to be erased. And the point of this book is to help sort of stop them being erased and to make those struggles live in the present, where they can inspire the kind of people that are protesting today about the issues that they are concerned about.